say this wrong, because what happens is the last thing I want you to do is kind of curve your upper back. So I don't want you to actually do that. So you still need to be in that neutral spine position. So your spine should be still nice, stacked up one on top of the other, without curving any way, in, out, sideways. But I want you to relax so making sure that your arms is actually beneath your shoulders. I know that sounds really daft, but when we start moving, yeah, I see so many times that the hands comes up really too far up, the arms comes up far too high. So I want you to focus on just kind of bringing your shoulder in a little bit, but I don't want you to, then this is no good, because my back is round and my shoulder is tense. But what I want you to do is you relax your shoulders. My spine is still a neutral spine, so I don't want you to slouch. I want you to use your core, your lower back, to hold your structure up. But kind of bring your shoulder in slightly so that your back is not squashed. All right, so your back is actually relaxed. And I want you to breathe. So let's go. So I want you to take a breath in, slowly though. I want you to feel the tummy slowly expand. And as you do so, if you can, I want you to actually push it, almost like you're pushing lower your pelvic floor. I don't want you to push as such. And then when you breathe out, you should feel your tummy relaxing back in. And naturally, the pelvic floor should come back up. All right, so let's do that again. So you go in. Out. In. And breathe out. One more time. In. And breathe out. Okay, so in this state, same position. So I don't want your body position, so remember that. I don't want your body position to change. And I want you to, today I want you to focus on keeping your hand and your arm in the same level, so it doesn't go too hard, or it's not like floppy, but it's relaxed. So your hands are relaxed, fingers are relaxed, but I've got this like nice curved, so it's like, so what I want you to do is I want you to create this hollowness in your palm. So your hand is actually perfectly lined with the rest of your arm, so it's not back, it's not floppy, but it just lined up exactly. Okay, and then so if you lift your arms up now, if you lift too high up, you should feel the tension in your shoulders. So I want you to drop your arms so that you don't feel that tension in your shoulders. Okay, but not squeezing your back, but still in that nice, not round, but open back. All right, I'm choosing my words very, very carefully. All right, so I'm going to start with our first set, my set. So in your resting stance, sink in low, empty one of your legs, feel one step out, parallel stance. I'm going to give you a moment or two just to find that routine. All right, so you'll have to soften your knees before you even start. So I want you to then tilt your hip, your tailbone slightly underneath. Immediately you should feel the heaviness in your heels straight away. But I want you to redistribute that weight to the rest of your feet, all right, the inside, ball of your feet, and also your toe. Again, the only place that should be not really pushing down It's the center of your feet, all right? Same with your hands, same kind of sensation, all right? A hollowness in your palms and in your feet. So keep that positioning when we're just sitting on the floor, and I want you to engage with your abdominal breathing. So I'm just going to ask you to slowly rotate your arms out, up and out, in, breathe out. So remember, I want you to focus on your hand, always level with the rest of your arms, and breathe out. Breathing in, breathe out. Just one more. In, breathe out. I just want you to do one more, but this time I want you to focus that when you are moving your arms, I don't want you to close your back, and breathe out. Keep it open. Nice simple one. Pull to the top, breathing in. Use your core to make yourself tall, and breathe out. And again, breathing in. And out. And again, in. And breathe out. In. Breathe out. Let's have one on each side. In. Out. So sink if you want, but you're sinking, your weight should be not just in the front of your feet. So keep just tilting that head. If you are going to sink, both arms together, in. Slowly bending the elbows. Breathe out, just extend. So I want you to pay attention to where your arms are. So I don't want those shoulders to tense up. So if it's too high, what happens is you have to use your shoulder a lot more. So keep your hands relatively low. Breathing in. And out. In. Breathe out. Single arm rotation. In. Breathe out. Right, again. Place your hand parallel to your arm. Breathe out. And the fingers really nice and relaxed. Creating that slight curve in your hands. Breathe out. Ideally, if you can feel your hand is so heavy, breathe out. In. So don't close that back. Breathe out. In. Breathe out. Right, we're going to activate your trunk if you haven't already. Still sinking in with my tailbone tucked. I've just used my waist, my trunk, to move my arm. I didn't move my arm at all with my arm. Does that make sense? And breathe out. Breathing in. Breathe out first. We slowly lengthen our breathing. Breathing in and breathe out here. Alright, there's a lot to think about. So you are going to twist with your trunk, making sure you don't close. You shouldn't. If you were twisting from your trunk, what happens is your back should remain nice and open, your shoulder disengaged. Well, you are using your shoulders but in a relaxed state, so you're not tensing your shoulders or shortening the muscle in your shoulders while you're making these movements. Right, so hopefully you know where the positioning of your arm should be. So let's breathe with it in. Out. In. Out. In. Are you still making sure that your hands are parallel to your arms? Breathe out or lined. So you can move your wrist. Last one, in. Breathe out. Beach ball. Right, okay. So again, same rules apply. So if you're like this with your beach ball and you're definitely closing up your back and you're definitely tensing up your shoulders. So I want to find a place where your beach ball is. Elbow should be facing downwards so that the water will run down your elbow. If you're like this, it wouldn't. So just imagine those water would run down your elbow. Your wrists are just lined up with your arms. Fingers nice and relaxed. Feel the hollowness in your palm. Sink lower, tilt your tailbone, sit in your heels, and the rest of to the ball of your feet. Breathe out. In. So again, breathe out. Your arm stay very, very still. So you're moving from your left to your right because you are moving from your trunk. So I'm going to focus on my breathing now and breathe out. So after a while, what happens is, this one, you might start to tense your shoulders. So again, reset, drop. Breathe out. Breathe out. Are those knees flat? In and out. Just one on each side for me. Breathe out. Breathing in and breathe out. Right, I want you to try something for me. Right, so when you lift your arm, so I want you to soften your knees, a little bend. Okay, so I want you to really flex your hands. So I want you to take good notice of your quads. That's what I want you to do. So in your stance, soften your knees, little bend, not too high with your arms. Now flex your wrist completely, the way I didn't want you to do. And now relax it till it's lined up. What happened to your quads? Alright, if you haven't noticed, let's do this again. So flex it first, okay? And now relax it. What happened to your quads? Well, for mine, all of a sudden, my quads becomes more engaged by relaxing my hands. So I'm making a connection between my hands and my quads. Don't ask me why. I think it's a connective tissues is doing this. So if you don't believe me, right, do this again. All right, so I want you to feel the tension in your quads first. So if you just lift your arm, not too high. Now soften your knees, so you're in your parallel stance. Okay, flex. All right, and now I want you to relax your wrist so that it's actually just parallel to your hands. What happened to your quads? All of a sudden you have to tense it a little bit more. All right, so somehow your quads, when you relax your body, and you have to engage the lower bit of your body a lot more, and that's what I want you to do, because the upper body should be so relaxed. So if you tense, when you relax, your quad has to engage more. Alright, okay. So I'm going to, from here, still in your beach ball. I've done this before, so you've got your half a stance. I want you to take it out, pull with your foot. So again, if you flex your wrist, unflex, all of a sudden this one becomes a lot more tensed, or I have to tense it more. Return back. Again, I'm pulling and pushing with my feet, or I'm trying not to pull with my big quads, with my major muscles. Breathe out. So I'm taking care that my hands are still nicely like, it's probably a little bit higher than before. So when you're out here, I want you to pull with your foot rather than with your legs, because it's much easier. You don't have to think about it if you're going to pull with your big quads. But I want you to use your mind. Pull with your foot. Breathe out at the same time. Pull back with your foot. So I'm pulling back with this one. This one is actually pulling the other way so that I don't use my big quads. In. Breathe out. In. Use your foot. Breathe out. Breathing in. Out. In. So all this time I hope you haven't moved your arms at all. Breathe out. In, one on each side. Breathe out. Breathing in. Last one. Beach ball again. I'm taking a lot of care in not pulling with my big quads. Breathing in. Taking lots of care that my shoulders are not tense. I'm just wanting you to go forward. But again, focus on pulling with your feet. So I don't want you to come back with your body, definitely not, but you pull back with your feet. Breathe in. That's why in Tai Chi, Qigong, whatever you want to call it, there is a difference between the two. It's called stillness and movement. It's also described as meditation and movement, because you really have to use your brain. Breathe out. Meditation isn't just empty. So I really do disagree when people say you empty your mind. You don't. You really don't. Use your mind. Breathe out. So in Tai Chi, Qigong, you use your mind on your breathing and being very, very aware of your body and what you are using to make the movement. Breathe out. Not involuntary movement. So if you use big muscles, that's involuntary movement. You don't have to think about it. Breathing in and out. So pull with your foot and in. All right, breathe out. And breathe out. Sorry, I didn't forget your breathing in there. Breathing in. Again, should be watching that your hands are parallel to your arms. You're not closing your back. Breathe out. If you can feel your hands are really like a couple of kg heavy, excellent. Breathe out. And just step in for me here. In. Breathe out. All right, okay. Oh my goodness. Right. I've taken that session quite slowly today, just focusing on other things.